On the school situation there. Now, the Chinese authorities have launched a national census to try to provide an accurate measure of one of the country's most pressing social challenges, the mass of young people known as the left-behind children. As workers emigrate from rural areas to cities, tens of millions of children are left behind, sometimes under the care of relatives. Often they're unsupervised, and more than 2 million are thought to have been left to fend for themselves. Residency restrictions mean that most of China's internal migrant workers are not allowed to take their children with them. Well, our correspondent John Sudworth has been to two of the country's most badly affected provinces, and his report does contain some flashing images.
14-year-old Tao Lan is helping her younger brother with his homework. She's the only one who can. The children live alone. In their remote village, they grow their own vegetables and cook their own meals. Their parents work more than 1,000 miles away and come back to visit just once a year. When you're sad or upset about something at school, it must be very hard not being able to talk to your mummy or your daddy about it.
I can't tell them. Mom and Dad live a hard life outside. I don't want them to worry about me.
Alongside the responsibilities of an adult, she carries the vulnerability of a child. In some schools, up to 80% of the pupils are growing up without their mums or dads. China's modern economy may have been built on the hard graft of its internal migrants, but it's taken a heavy toll from their children too. The numbers involved are staggering. Some 60 million children affected nationwide, left behind in villages like this one while their parents work elsewhere. It is arguably one of the most pressing social issues of our time, and despite much hand-wringing, it is an issue the Communist Party has so far done very little about. Most left-behind children are not alone, but kept under the watchful eye of a grandparent. Many still struggle, like 11-year-old Tang Yuan.
My parents don't live here. They work in another city called Chengdu. They both work in factories, making clothes. I know it's hard for Mom and Dad to earn money, but I miss them so much. It's very painful.
This is where his dad works. Despite years of service on these production lines, it is still almost impossible for Mr. Tang to lose his official migrant status, which means, like millions of others, his children are not allowed to attend local schools. In a restaurant close to the factory, we show Tang Yuan's parents the interview we recorded with their son. They haven't seen him for 5 months.
I'm so worried because I'm not with him. I worry about his safety. If there were no legal barriers, we would bring him with us.
The Chinese government admits the problem is urgent. But until their parents are given full citizenship rights, the true cost of every made-in-China product will be measured not just in price, but in the terrible burden it places on these children. John Sudworth, BBC News in Guizhou Province.